And from hibernation, the Bears come out of the Bears cave to bring you the Bears cave. I'm sorry about not being here last week. Sam, we've got a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yeah. I think neither of us wanted to record last week. I think I didn't want to talk about the Bears. I didn't want to think about the Bears.
No.
I didn't want to acknowledge NFL football last week. But now, you know what? Loss sucks. Feeling better though.
Feeling a
Feel a
little better,
lot
yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. But we got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. And then here we
Absolutely.
can play the theme song that you commissioned, right?
Yeah, totally.
Did you?
I think we should start with kind of the Patriots game. Let's go over it. Like it's in the rearview mirror now.
Yeah.
It was just horrible. I mean, it's one of the worst Bears games ever. I mean,
I,
because it was one
I,
we were totally supposed to win.
yeah. I mean, like honestly, I was numb by the Patriots game because it felt like honestly the exact same song and dance as the Cardinals game,
Right.
except just a worse team.
Yeah.
Um, I
Like
was not having
the
fun at
Cardinals,
all.
I kind of get it. Like I kind of get losing to the Cardinals. Like they're
Yeah.
not that horrible.
I mean, they're kind of like the same as up there as us. They're like up and comers. They're
Right.
they
Like, oh, that
got a
sucks.
very young squad.
It's like
Um,
that sucks, but like I kind of get it. Like I can understand it.
yeah, and the Cardinals game we were like pretty decimated still on defense. But the
Right.
Patriots Patriots we had Kyler Gordon back, right?
Yep.
So I'm it's that one was a lot worse. I genuinely don't really remember much about the game. Um, I wasn't like drunk or anything watching it. Like I kind of just was zoned out. I mean, I
Yeah. It's like
just
what the hell?
yeah. But you know, with all bad things, there's a good side, and we, the loss to the Patriots, as shocking as it is, seem to have finally woken up the McCaskies, the Ryan Poles, Eberflus to finally, cut the horrendous offensive coordinator that is Shane Waldron.
Yep.
Um, maybe he was. I definitely don't think he's as bad of an offensive coordinator as he showed, but I think for a rookie quarterback, he was just the worst choice. I don't think he was
Yeah.
good at all. He kept trying to do complex things. He didn't seem to really know how to facilitate chemistry among with the entire team, really, in terms of how to coordinate routes and stuff. I mean, the
Right.
wide receivers and Caleb's were kind of off on different pages for the entire season, really. So I don't think he was the right choice for us. I mean, obviously you can say that in hindsight. Um,
Right.
when we hired him, I was like, I don't know who this is. I'm not a big coach guy. I don't really
Yeah.
follow
I mean,
coaches too
who
much.
knows who the offensive coordinators are? Like,
Yeah,
come
there
on.
are people who like track that and they're like, oh, Shane Waldron or no Shane. I was just like, okay, I'm just glad we got the last guy out.
Yeah. I hope he got good. Like I hope he's good, and
Yeah,
he wasn't.
he
I
wasn't.
will say, I think a lot of from watching the games and how I felt was like it felt like he was fitting the players to his system, not fitting his system to the players,
Mhm.
which is I think the hallmark of a coach who's not going to succeed. I think the best coaches fit the players or fit their scheme to the players, right? So the talent you have, the good players you have, like you play to their strengths, right? You don't make them fit into this mold, and it felt like he was just trying to make these players fit into his system.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's never going to work. It's never going to succeed because you're not using the players to their fullest potential. I mean, that just was my perspective from what I saw from a lot of what was going on. There were flashes of when the offense looked good, but it was just overall bad.
Mhm.
And it's very tough to have that be your first coordinator for Caleb Williams
Yeah.
to get fired midseason. But the bright side is everything looked a lot better without him.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Thomas Brown, I think, did a really good job.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think he. I was not expecting it to go kind of as smoothly as it did, and obviously this can just be, an outlier potentially. Hopefully not, but hopefully this kind of trend keeps going. But honestly, it looked really good this week. and I think it just looked much simpler. And that's not. It's hard to say that in a bad thing because it kind of sounds like a bad thing or um, kind of a basic thing, but it's just like there's no plays that make me scratch my head. And
Right.
Shane Waldron tried to do too much. He tried to innovate. He tried to run the ball on the 1 yard line with Doug Kramer. We didn't get any of that. The plays were normal, and there were some innovative like cool plays there that made me like
Right.
say like that's awesome. But the play itself wasn't like okay. I guess it worked, but what was that? Or I mean,
Yeah, that there was a lot of that with Waldron. I would say where it was
yeah,
like, okay, that kind of worked, but like, what is going on?
yeah.
I feel like there's quite a few of those moments where it's like, okay, we got like 4 yards, but like, why didn't like we could just get 4 yards with a Roshan Johnson run? Like,
Yeah.
we don't need to be doing all that. And none of his like kind of like sort of trickier plays ever really worked. And it was
Yeah.
like, what are we
There was
doing?
one. There was one. The double fake to Cole Kmet, but like
That yeah, that one was cool. That was
that
cool.
that's also just like kind of the utmost.
Right, right.
um,
Um, but yeah, I thought the offense looked really good. I thought Caleb looked comfortable, and I felt like he was just playing more free. Like he was playing more like comfortable. Like
mhm.
overall, he was just doing his thing. Uh, he looked like what I thought he should look like.
Yeah,
Did he destroy the world? Like, was he in every pass? No, he's a rookie. Like, but what he looked like against the Packers is what he should look like at this point in his rookie career.
yeah.
He's not a
Honestly,
worldie. He's
something.
not a top 10 quarterback,
Mhm.
but he's looking pretty good. He's looking like a good quarterback. And he showed flashes, especially at the end, which I know we'll get into.
Oh yeah. Honestly, the way Caleb played this entire game was kind of how I wanted his season to go. So like at the start of the game, he was relying on his talent a lot. He was throwing screen passes, not long downfield, but like he was using everyone how they should be used, um, and none of that was like requiring too much effort on him. I think he did a great job being comfortable in the pocket, but also being aware. There were some times where it was collapsing, and he knew when and where to get out of the way to. I thought that was awesome. But at the start of the game, he was relying on his talent around him, and as the game went on, he started relying on his own talent and making some really star plays. And like you said, the ending drive was just incredible.
Yeah,
But like at the start of the game, the first two and a half quarters, he was looking like Jaden Daniels. He was throwing some baby passes and letting the receivers, do the yards
right, right.
after catch, which is good. That's how it should be starting off, and I think it helped him ease into the game, and it allowed him like when he needed to turn that switch on. And obviously the highlight of the game was that pass to Roma Dunze, where he escaped and then threw it
Right.
to Roman Dunze on the sidelines. And I saw a clip from one of the first the first game against the Titans where it was like kind of like that same route Rome was running, but like I don't know if you remember it, but he like Rome like didn't turn back or something,
I do
and they just
remember.
didn't connect, and the ball was just like an air ball, and it looked very similar, except this time Rome caught it, and
Right.
it
I know
it, it was
exactly what you're talking about, and that is cool. That is sweet.
it's some cool progression.
Right. And I thought Caleb, like I said, he played the way a rookie quarterback should have.
Hmm.
Is he better than Jordan Love? Was he able to completely destroy the Packers defense? Like no.
I think he
Like
was better than Jordan Love this
in
game.
this game, yes. In this game, yes. And I kind of want to get into that. But like another thing is I want to like point out kind of the resilience of this team because I don't know if you had this feeling when the Packers got the ball on the first drive and they just destroyed our defense for a touchdown. I had one of those, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like this game is so over. Like this is like we are about to get slaughtered by the Packers. It's gonna be horrible. I don't know if you got that
I
feeling.
didn't really get that. I mean, I always feel like the first quarter is always the worst with Bears.
Yeah,
Um,
that is true. But I was
but
really like, I was like, oh man, how like I feel like that's just like an absolute like death spell for our team. Like we're about
yeah,
to lose 42-10. Like this is gonna be horrible.
I
Like
uh, I mean, going into this game, I honestly didn't have too much expectations.
no,
I whether Thomas Brown was the right or wrong choice to go to, you know, once they hired him, I was like, ugh, the Panthers guy. Uh, he was not great with that rookie quarterback.
right.
I don't know how good he's going to be for us, but as I thought into it more and more, like I he has a very good history. Like before becoming the Panthers, he was their head coach, right?
He's their offensive coordinator, I think.
Okay, just okay. Um,
Maybe he was their interim head coach after they fired their. Maybe I don't know. I'm
Maybe.
not. I don't remember.
But like he did a lot with he did a lot with the Rams. In college, he had a good history, and then the fact that he worked with a rookie quarterback at all is just good.
Right.
It's good. He
Like he
failed.
literally
He
learned
kind of
from
failed.
those mistakes. Yeah,
Um,
he learned from mistakes. Like that's all you can ask.
exactly. Yeah. So I was more positive on him, but I did not think that it was going to be like an immediate change. So I wasn't going into this with huge high hopes. And obviously we'll talk about that kick at the end, but um, I wasn't going in with too high hopes, and I was very much pleasantly surprised by the performance this week.
Yeah, absolutely. The offense being able to just fight and keep going. I thought the defense played good against a high-powered offense. Run defense, especially ever since Andrew Billings went down, has been not good. He was a key piece of our defense.
Yeah.
And without him, it is clear we cannot stop the run.
Yeah.
It felt like in every key situation, Josh Jacobs just got it for the Packers.
Yeah.
It felt like 3rd and 4, like, oh, they've got this.
Yeah.
Like,
And Packers are not, a very run-heavy team. So it wasn't, great to have that. But it also wasn't, like, terrible. Like, we didn't have any, like, 70-yard runs, like, against the Arizona
Yeah.
Cardinals.
right.
So, but I agree with you. I agree with you. It wasn't, I hope that gets improved.
Yeah. I think just the biggest part of that is Andrew Billings was a beast.
Yeah.
Like, he was really good at his job. He was really, really good at what he did.
hmm
And it didn't show up in the stat sheet. You know, he's not getting a bunch of sacks and he's not, like, getting a bunch of, like, I don't know, forced fumbles or anything. But, like, was an incredible player. And, like, clearly we're feeling the impact that not having him is. And that's a huge part of why we lost this game. I mean, like, obviously there's a million things you can go back. Oh, we could have won this game with this. No, I really feel like if Andrew Billings, of all the injured players or whatever, he would have, like, really made this game a lot easier for us.
Yeah. And I will say, there's always two sides to it, and I'm pretty sure that the Packers had a good amount of injuries on their hands.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I don't want
Absolutely.
to.
No Johns.
Yeah, yeah. I want to like keep that in mind as well. Like
Right.
we both had some injuries, but
Absolutely, absolutely. But there was a couple times where a couple of those deep bombs to Christian Watson, uh, where I was like, oh man, like Jaquan Brisker would have broke that pass up.
no, Jaquan Brisker we're missing.
Like yeah, and that's
He's
something I would like get into is like I like defense really misses him, and like obviously like he's like a player I like, so like
oh yeah, and he
go
went on
hey, like,
IR.
that's really tough.
He it's been like a month and a half since he got the concussion, and he's slated to be out like 3 more games at least.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if he's playing again the rest of the season. This could
Yeah.
be the end of his career because that's a long time for a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I have no idea what's up. Like, obviously, I'm not any doctor or any concussion expert. It's like that's not normal for a concussion. It feels like there's something else going on.
Yeah.
But I really just, I
And he
mean, he's a
wants to
great
get out.
player.
He wants to get back out. It's not like he's like,
Sure
nah,
he will.
I don't feel like it. He has to pass concussion protocol, and if he's not doing that, then there's nothing he can do. I feel for the guy.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I know he wants to be out there and like it, especially like for an injury like that. Like I'm sure he's like I can run, like I can do all this shit. Like, and they're like, nah, like you're still got a concussion. Like I would
yeah,
be so
yeah,
annoyed.
bro, you're stumbling.
yeah, like bro, count to four. Like
Bro, I'm over here. You're looking behind me. Uh,
right. No, but like I totally feel for him. Like I
no.
hope he's okay. 'Cause, like he's an electric player. He seems like he brings a lot of juice to the defense, and like seems like obviously you don't want anyone to like be hurt, especially an injury like that is especially scary.
Mhm.
But also like clearly we're not going to the playoffs this year. Like don't rush back into it. Like if I was like Jaquan Brisker's like I don't know agent or like whisperer, like a whispering in his job, like do not go back early from this. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know. Like if I was like the King's assistant, like he's the king, and
Oh.
like I don't know, just like I don't know. I'm making shit up, but like if I was like if I like was telling him what to do, I'd be like, don't rush back early. Like
Yeah.
heal your brain. Like that's just important.
Yeah,
Like
and obviously that is what they're doing. Like, I mean, I'm
advisor.
sure if like the team really wanted to, like they could like fast track him back into the game.
Right.
But they're not,
We were
which is
like
good.
7-4 right now. I would be like, get this man on the field.
I don't know about that, but obviously, when it's something that scary, like
Yeah,
that could
absolutely.
affect your entire life.
Yeah,
I
yeah
just
you
wanted to be
don't
safe,
want that.
but we are missing him a
Absolutely.
lot. Let's talk about the kick. I don't.
Let's talk about the
Were
drive.
you
Let's talk about the drive. Let's start with the
okay?
drive. So because I know you were watching the game. I was in the car listening to the game at this point.
That's
So
crazy.
I was, yeah, yeah. So I left right after the second bomb to Christian Watson. That's when
Okay.
I got in my car and I started driving. And I was like, like, because I made some plans and I was like, I think I told you about this. I'm like, like, I got my plans at 3. Like, there's no way I'm gonna want to be watching the game still from 2:30. Like, I'm gonna want to be not watching the game anymore. So I made the plans at 3, and then
So,
of course it's a crazy exciting game. Um, but so I really started listening on the start of the last drive, and the first 2 plays are exactly how I thought the last drive was going. 4 plays in a row. So I'm just, I'm in the zone. I'm like, all right, please, Caleb Williams, one time. Like I have so many Packers fans friends that I just want to rub it in. Like I
hmm
need this. And then the first play, and I'm listening to the official Bears call, and just like the sadness and depression in their voice of like, Caleb Williams is immediately sacked on
yeah.
first down, and then second down, Caleb Williams sacked again. Is like unbelievable. I'm like at that point I'm like I should just turn the radio off.
Yeah.
Like whatever. All right, third down, incomplete. Fourth down, they're gonna get another sack. Like GG, whatever. Like stupid Bears.
hmm The
Um,
thing is, I just want to mention because we've seen that drive happen so many times this year. Caleb sacked again. Maybe missed pass or a small gain. Let's kick it. Or let's punt it.
yeah.
We've seen that so many times, so I don't blame you for thinking like, yeah, it's over. It's
Okay, he
over.
done that. And then we saw the quarterback who was promised on the next 2 plays. I think
Yeah,
the next 3 plays.
yeah,
That's the guy who we were promised.
yeah.
And just wow. I mean, absolute. That's the best, bar none. The best plays he had all year. After that second down sack, until the end of the game,
hmm
that's as good of a quarterback as you can be. I
hmm
mean, he literally flipped the Patrick Mahomes switch.
Yep,
Josh Allen, that's what Lamar Jackson does. That's what Joe Burrow does.
yep.
That's what Justin Herbert does. So all these great quarterbacks do. Maybe not Justin Herbert. I'm like, you know what? I misspoke. Justin Herbert doesn't do that. But Mahomes does. Josh Allen does. All of these guys who are winning playoff games and Super Bowls and MVPs, all those guys that are doing that, he turned into them.
Yeah,
He was that guy
yeah.
for about 8 minutes or however long real time that was. Not 8
Oh,
minutes.
really? 8 minutes? Oh, I thought you meant like 8 clock minutes.
No,
No,
not 8 o'clock minutes. But
no. Yeah,
for like 1 clock minute, he was that guy.
yeah.
He really was like it felt like he was the best quarterback on the planet. After that second down sack, until the clock hit 0, it felt like he was the best quarterback on the planet. And like can you disagree? Like it really felt like that. It really felt like that from my perspective. And right,
No, I
I
mean he
remember
couldn't have played better. He couldn't have played
he
better.
couldn't like, exactly like he couldn't have played better.
But
First watching the match, unbelievable, unbelievable throws, unbelievable poise, unbelievable confidence. Right, it's like that's the other thing. Is like you just got smashed 2 plays in a row. Like you
mhm,
got hit, you got sacked. Your offensive line didn't do its job.
mhm.
Everything sucked. 2 plays in a row. The first 2 plays, like you just want to get like one. Sorry, no, no, no. You are gonna get the toughest, most brutal drive you can possibly get, and he just turns like the coal into diamonds. Like it
Yeah.
was crazy. I was baffled at that drive.
hmm Yeah. It was it was a really good drive. And just as we were promised the Caleb Williams, we were then given the coach that we were promised, who, in my opinion, it just is showing why he is the worst situational coach in the NFL. I think he does not make good decisions at all when it comes to game time.
Right,
With what little power he has in just like timeouts, challenges,
right.
and
The tangible things.
yeah, he manages to screw it all up. And with 30 seconds left in a timeout, and with Caleb Williams playing out of his mind, you you run the clock until what 3 seconds or something, and then try to go for a kick. I think that's just the dumbest move ever. And he's
I totally think you run the ball one more time.
yeah.
I absolutely think.
I'm not scared of a fumble. You know, if they fumble, it's gonna hurt, but
It's gonna suck.
I understand how low of a chance that is.
This is also something I always think about with head coaches. I don't think I would ever get mad at my head coach being too aggressive.
Yes, exactly. And
I only ever get mad at them being not aggressive enough.
yeah, exactly. I trust DeAndre Swift, and if DeAndre
Right.
Swift fumbles it, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. You did his best, and you did the play that I wanted you to run.
Right.
But just sitting back and just he's just like throwing it up to fate. Like, you know what? I don't want to worry about it anymore. It's an easy thing to do.
It
It's an
felt
easy
like,
thing.
oh, we're good enough. It's like I if you're the type of football team where you're good enough, like you suck. You're terrible.
Yeah,
You deserve to lose. Like good enough doesn't work in football. It doesn't work in life. It doesn't work in anything. Like
sure.
good enough just doesn't work, right? And in anything. And like why like and that's just what it felt like, and it felt like they accepted being good enough. And I
hmm
feel like that was more emblematic, not just that like the couple extra yards would have maybe made a difference, because like would it have made a difference? Maybe,
Who
but
knows? I mean,
like
yeah. Well, to be fair,
why do you accept good enough field position?
yeah.
Like why aren't you trying to actively improve every chance you get? That's more like that's why it felt more emblematic. Like because when I first saw the discourse, I was like, guys, like a few yards doesn't matter. Like he's an NFL kicker. It was getting blocked either way, right? But I'm like, no, like that was dumb. Like good enough doesn't cut it. Like you need to try and squeak out every single advantage you can get.
Well, especially for Cairo Santos. I mean,
Right.
this wasn't like on him. It was a blocked kick, but he's not as nearly as good past 40, 45 as he is within the 40. I mean, he's a very precise kicker, but he doesn't have that a whole lot of leg on him. He's not gonna
Right.
kick a bomb. And there's like apparently like he's 100% within the 40 or something, and he's like 75% past it. Um, that's insane. Why go for the extra yards then? And then obviously, the kick is blocked. It was a penalty. They were leveraging the long snapper, but the Bears are never going to get that call. I'm not worried about it. And
Whatever. I
we
like
should be able to win that game regardless of the ref. We should be able to be a good enough team to where the referees don't,
yeah.
where the margin of error is
Right.
not.
I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely right. You don't like if the game is up to a last second field goal, either team deserves to win,
Yeah.
right? That's how I feel. It's like if it's a last second field goal, it's just like either team deserves to win.
Yeah.
There's going to be hot takes on Sports Center about it because like, oh, one team won and one team lost, like, but like it's really just maybe not 50-50, maybe it's 70-30, it's whatever. Like that's just gonna come down to it. But I don't know. That was just another one of those moments where it's like, I don't know if God or the devil is a Packers fan, dude. Like, be so for like it's just another one of those moments. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. And then, just the thing that makes me so mad, and it's just that Eberflus can't take accountability. And I think that shows a real lack of confidence. He after the game, he's like, yeah, I do the same thing again. I had confidence in my guys. You aren't confident enough in your position as a head coach and in your like job security that you're going to be like, yeah, I screwed up. I'm going to fix it. We're going to
right.
fix it. It's clear, and he's not fooling anyone. He's going out there and he's saying like, yeah, I did everything I could, but I mean, it's not my fault. Don't fire me. Fire other guys. Fire Shane Waldron. It worked,
Yeah.
but I mean, he just cannot take accountability. And the one thing I said at the start of the season, I'm just like, I have no confidence in him as an X and O's guy, and he can learn that. But if he's a motivator, then I'm happy and I want that.
Right. I'm down
But
for
if
that.
he's not going to be an X and O's guy, or if he's not going to try to learn that and try to be better, then he's useless. And he honestly doesn't have a spot on the team anymore because he's not really like keeping the locker room together. He's not a great motivator.
Yeah.
He's cost us so many games just from bad decisions, and I don't know. That's my take on Shane Waldron, and
He's just gone. I mean, I think Eberflus is he's not going to be our coach next year.
yeah,
I don't think there's any way.
yeah. And I
Um,
even if we go on like a 6-game run, I still hope he's gone.
Yeah, if by some miracle we finish like 8-9 and like sneak into the playoffs and then get like destroyed by the Eagles or whatever, like that doesn't mean we should keep Eberflus. Like,
Yeah, 8-9 is not going to be enough to
I
make
mean,
the
but it's
playoffs
just
this
an
year.
example, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we sneak into the playoffs on some bullshit
Hmm.
and then get destroyed by the 2 seed, like that doesn't mean we should keep Eberflus, right?
Yeah.
Because again, good enough. That's a good enough season.
Hmm.
It's not a great season, and
Yeah.
like that's just something like I can't. You don't want from favorite football team. Like I don't want that. I don't want the Bears to be good enough.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. But that is enough about the Packers. We will get back to them in week 17. 18. I
Right?
forgot about my
18.
week. We will get back to them then. But for now, we are time to talk about the two other teams that we are going to play this week, the Vikings and the Lions. And straight up, let me get this out of the way. I think we have a very, very winnable shot against the Vikings. I'd
Absolutely.
say it's close to 50-50.
Yeah.
Maybe give or take 5%. Lions, I don't think there's really a chance.
The
That's
Lions
gonna
might be the best team in football. I mean, like,
uh, the Chiefs are just so good, but I hate them so much. Like I know they're a divisional team, but I just want to. Much rather the Lions win than the Chiefs.
yeah. I mean, I still think that the Lions are cursed, and I don't think they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Like, I like, I don't know, just something about it. Like, it's like the Lions. It doesn't make sense for them.
but
to
they're
the Super
so
Bowl,
good.
but
They're so
they're
good.
gonna destroy us. Like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, they're gonna destroy us.
yeah.
Though surprisingly, in the Eberflus era, we've always been good against them. Like, kind of for no reason.
I don't know why.
I don't. There's absolutely zero reason we should be good against the Lions.
Mhm.
But we've kind of held it close and like won a lot against them, and like had losses where it's like, oh, that was inexplicable. Like we just totally gave it away at the
Yeah,
end.
well,
It's like, how are we
that's an
even close?
Eberflus thing. That's an Eberflus thing.
Yeah, the Eberflus special, right? But for some reason we always keep it close with them.
Yeah. So
I
hopefully
don't know
that's
if
a
it's
good game at least. I mean, I don't
yeah,
want
hopefully it's a good
Thanksgiving
game.
to
I
be
want yeah.
just like
Right.
depressing.
I mean, I will say I think we got a shot. I would, especially a game like that. I also just want to turn Caleb loose. Like be
Yeah.
like, listen, bro, like just
Well,
go, like give it your all.
the
Like
thing is, just our team does not match up well against them. They're so run heavy. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, the two, the Knuckles and Sonic of their team,
right,
um, they're so good and they're so great, and we just don't have the run defense for that. And I feel
right,
like that's going to be our downfall.
right. And I
Um,
think kind of our best players don't match up with them. Like
mhm,
Amon Ra is kind of a slot guy. Jalen Johnson doesn't really have like doesn't seem like the type of guy who can really cover Amon Ra.
mhm,
We don't really have a nice like yeah, our run defense, especially without Billings. We don't really have a good answer for their speed threats. We don't
mhm,
have a good answer for Laporta.
mhm.
Kind of feel, but I mean, we've done good enough in the past.
Yeah, I mean it's not out of the question.
Yeah, I
Um,
would say like it's like a 10% chance. I mean, like I just want it to be close. I agree with you. I don't think we're gonna win.
yeah,
I think it'll be close though. I think it'll be like if I had to give score predictions, I think against the Vikings, I think it's like a brutal low scoring game. I think it's like 17-14.
interesting. Yeah,
I think it's
I
like
think that's
brutal.
smart. Yeah, I think.
Or not. I take that back. I think it's 13-10 or something like that. Like a really
Oh,
ugly
I don't
game.
know about that low scoring.
A
Um,
lot of interceptions, a lot of fumbles, a lot of like weird special teams gaffes. Like
yeah,
that, I feel like that's the vibes. Like weird special teams things are gonna happen against the Vikings, like block field goals, block punts, like punt fumbles. Like I think a ton of weird shit like that's gonna happen against the Vikings.
maybe.
Um,
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that low scoring.
yeah,
Um,
maybe I'll
I
take it
think
back to
17-14
17.
is very reasonable. And I'm gonna give it to the Bears.
Yeah, I
I
think at home. I think in Minnesota, I would say we lose, but since it's gonna be at home, I think we win.
yeah. I mean,
How I feel on that one.
listen. They're an 8-2 football team, but and listen, they've done a lot of good. They were projected to not win many games this year, and now they're like
Right.
almost definitely going to make it to the playoffs. Like it's hard not to when you have 8 wins
Right.
with like 5 games left to play. Sorry, seven games left to play. Jeez,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
they only need to win one or two of those. They're going to make it. But are they as good as their record suggests? No.
yeah,
They
it's a divisional game. It's like we see them twice a year. Obviously, we have one of the few guys on earth who I think can cover Justin Jefferson.
mhm,
Like, I don't know. I think we're gonna stick it to the Vikings.
yeah. Yeah, I think but they're a very good team and their defense is very good. And that's going to be and our defense is very good. Um, and their offense is not that great. And
No.
our offense is I have no clue what it is.
Don't ask me, dude.
We'll pull the Caleb slot machine. Uh, who knows? It might be awesome. It might be it might be horrible. But listen, I think we both have good defenses. I don't think they're. I think their offense is good, but I think our defense shuts them down very well. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah,
I think
a
Darnold throws
lot of
like
their
3 picks, but they still get like some touchdowns. Like
yeah
I think it's one of those games.
yeah
Like I think Sam Darnold finishes with like 3 picks, 2 touchdowns.
yeah.
Like
I can
350 yards.
see 2 to 3
Like
picks.
I think like a lot of picks, a lot of yards, like two
Hmm.
touchdowns, like 50 passing attempts, like 25 completions, but they're all bombs. Like
Yeah.
I think it's one of those games.
Mhm.
And then Caleb has like 22 passing attempts, like 19 completions, and like 180 yards.
That's crazy. I'd love that.
I think it's one of those games. I
19
think,
for 22. I'm fine with that.
yeah, but like all like slants and shit.
That's fine.
No picks.
Yeah.
He's really good at not throwing picks.
That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And I I'm not I don't think that's a good attribute. I mean, in principle, yes, but when you really think about it, when
He
you're
should take no risk.
yeah, you got to be able to throw like and I think he did that more last game where he threw like riskier passes.
Yeah, and I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
And listen, riskier passes, if it's a good pass, that's it still might be risky, but that means you're trusting your receivers.
Absolutely. And he has receivers he should be trusting.
Yeah, and like I remember DJ Moore talking about like if like a linebacker is on me, or if if I'm being covered, you still got to throw it to me because I'll make the play, Caleb. You know,
Yeah,
and I think he's
I
got to
mean,
trust
really,
it.
he
Trust
is
his
DJ Moore.
yeah.
Like he's open.
Hmm.
If he's one on one, he's open.
Yeah.
It's kind of how you gotta think about it.
Yeah. Um, I think, but listen, a lot of the Vikings games have could have gone either way. They have been
Right.
mostly one score games. And with the Bears, it's kind of the same thing. Most of our games could have gone either way. Um,
Right.
in another world, we could be 8-2, and the Vikings could be 4-6.
Right.
That could just be it. It's really just kind of the way things worked out, and I'm not discouraging like one score games. Like I'm not saying like, oh, it literally is 50-50.
No, good teams know how to
Eberflus has
win.
definitely caused a lot of those losses. A lot of them could have been avoidable, and that shows like a lack of, you know, that definitely makes our team worse than it could be. But I do think like they're not as impressive as some people are making them out to be. And even if you look at like the money line, it's like I don't sports bet, but like it's like plus 140 on the Bears, which is like it's not that much of an underdog. Um, so listen, it's going to be a good game. I think we're both similar strengths right now. I think we're both on the same tier of like maybe mid good. Um, we're where
Yeah,
you know we're on the same tier, and I think we have a very good chance.
absolutely.
What are your thoughts on the games on next week?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, the Vikings game, I think it's going to be close.
Hmm.
Lions game, I think it's going to be closer than most people think. And most people think it's probably going to be a blowout.
Hmm.
I think it's probably like our defense can't stop them, but our offense is kind of threatening the whole game. Like we're keeping it like it's never going to truly get out of hand.
Hmm.
Like the Lions have been having a lot of games
They've
get out
had
of
so
hand.
many blowouts, which is
Yeah.
just scary.
Like I think it's one of those things where like it'll kind of be like a shootout in a way, but we just can't keep up with them.
I mean,
I
I'd
think it's
like
like
that. I think that's very optimistic.
I
Um,
would say like final score like 34-27,
okay.
something like that.
All
But
right.
it's like we're in like shooting distance at the end. Like we got a chance. Like if we get like a touchdown here and an onside kick, we can still win type of game.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think we're gonna be. Um, I mean, it's not even at home, um, and I know we've been on a home skid, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like 33-17 or something. Yeah.
So you have no faith in our offense.
I listen. You said I think the Lions defense is better than the Vikings defense.
Eh,
And you said
maybe.
that the Bears would only score like 17 against the Vikings.
Yeah, but I also think the Bears have one of those bad like cases of like, oh, the other team is not scoring that much, so we'll just run the ball and not score that much either.
Yeah, the
I think the
Cubs the
Bears have
Cubs
tend to do
have
that.
that so bad.
We totally do that. Like we totally are like they're not scoring a lot of points. We'll score just a little bit more than
Yeah.
them,
Yeah,
and like
but
we'll control the
Chicago
clock.
sports teams do that where it's like where if they're like ahead, like they're they always keep it close. For some reason they like if they're up by a lot, they'll let the other team catch up, or if they're up by a little, they'll like not extend their lead. Um,
Right.
you know, I see what you're saying, but in reality, I think it's gonna be like 17-33.
Maybe. I don't know. It may as well be 51-10. Like that's also a realistic possibility.
Hmm.
You can't count that one out.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, honestly, no, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think we're better than the teams that the Lions have blown out this year. But you know, anyway, one thing I want to mention, like that, I don't know if we had a clip on our first podcast episode where we were like predicting the scores for all the games this year. I was like, yeah, the Green Bay Packers one is going to be like 28-27, and we're going to lose on a field goal. and
Yeah, you
and
said that
it
too.
was a one point game, and we lost on a field goal, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
Sucks that it happened. What's up, Kat?
This is Nala. Nala, she's having a good time.
Yo, what's up?
She's a Bears fan too. She's excited. She thinks that we're winning the Super Bowl this year. She doesn't know any better. Now she's standing up on two legs.
What the
Crazy.
fuck?
But no, she thinks we're winning the Super Bowl this year and next year.
Delusional.
The
Delusional.
delusional cat.
Hate to
Delusional cat doesn't know
Doesn't
he
she
hired the
don't know
wrong coach
ball.
again.
She don't know ball. uh, hey, listen, tell her we're playing for the draft, man.
A little bit. It is a little bit like I think after the Patriots game, I was like, ah, shit. Like, damn, I gotta start thinking about the draft. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, after the Patriots game, I was like, ah, damn. I really thought we were gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, and you thought the Jets were making the playoffs too, but look where they
Sure.
are.
They have an active bet where the Bears and the Jets have to make the playoffs, and I
I
might be able
told
to
you
cash
before
out.
the season started, the Jets are such frauds. They're always going to be terrible. And
That's right.
you're
That's
like,
true.
oh, they're so good with Aaron Rodgers. You
No,
got Aaron Rodgers PTSD, bro.
that's
He's
true.
washed.
He is washed. He is washed.
He's not scary anymore. He's not going to come
No,
for you.
he isn't. He isn't. No. I do have a few good bets still active. I do have a bet where it's because I gotta throw my boys on there. This is my Bears wide receiver bet. It's to go over 750 yards. So it's DJ Moore and Roma Dunze, who I think are both on track to get there. Then it's Darnell Mooney, who's been killing it in Atlanta.
Who
Former
needs
Bears wide
over
receiver.
750 yards this season?
750 yards on the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's gonna get it. I think all three are gonna get it. I think I'm gonna win the bet. I think I'll cancel out my stupid Bears and the Jets make the playoffs bet. Like, which is all time worst bet. Like, those are actually like
It's goofy.
miserable.
Goofy. And you remember I told you that the Jets were going to be so bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I predicted two over unders this year too. Right. I was like, oh, the Broncos are way underrated. Like the over under
That's
is like
true.
6.5.
That's
I'm
true.
like 6.5. The Broncos are way underrated. Like I'm gonna bet the over. I'm gonna bet like a ton of money. I throw like $10 on each bet. I'm not a huge sports better.
Mhm.
And then my other one, I'm like, dude, Cowboys line at 9.5. They win 12 games every year.
That's not happening.
Like they win 12 games every year for the last 3 years. Like 9.5. Yeah, I'm smashing the over on the Cowboys. Like so for every good bet, we got a bad bet.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's how it's going for me.
Crazy how the Broncos are doing. They are. Did you see they flexed a Broncos game, a Broncos Chargers game? I think that's lame. I don't care about either of those teams.
No, they're, no, those are two of the teams I care about the least.
Yeah.
But
Hey, did you watch that the snow game yesterday?
I watched some of it. I was at work.
Okay.
I
Oh
I
yeah,
saw the
that's
ending
right.
of it.
Yeah.
I saw the ending of it.
Dude, the snow games are so fun.
Dude, they're
They're
the
so
best. Like
pretty.
that's fucking real man football right
Yeah.
there. Like
Did you see Amazon Prime was doing this shit where they put virtual lines on the field to like cover up the snow so you could see the yardage? I think that's horrible.
Whoa.
Just let's see grown men fight and play in the snow.
I think if you just put the like just the yellow and the red line, like if you just play
Yeah.
like the line of scrimmage and then the first down,
Yeah.
I think that's all you need.
Yeah. I don't know why when football doesn't show like what yard they're on like by the scoreboard anyway. I think that's stupid.
The little scoreboard things, yeah. I mean, they're always changing, but no,
What's up?
I agree. I agree because I'm always trying to do the math. I'm always like I always try to see if I can beat the announcer to how many yards they got.
Yeah.
That's a game I always play. But no, the snow game was awesome. Jameis Winston's so funny. Like he's one of my like he's so funny. Like all the interviews with him, he's so goofy.
George Pickens he tried to fight someone in the stands.
Dude, hey, he stands on business.
Bro,
It,
he's got a
as it were.
CTE probably.
Dude, Steelers receivers are crazy. Like Like
He got
he was
something in the
normal.
water.
Like he didn't fight anyone until he got drafted to the Steelers, and then he just started fighting everyone. Like it's
They
just
got
how it goes.
something in the water down there in Pittsburgh.
Like he was like
They got steel in
he
the
was like
water.
he was like a peaceful like protester. Like he was like all about peace, like and love. And then he got drafted to the Steelers. And like gotta fight people
Yeah,
now.
bro. He was anti.
But
He was like
I
an
do think like
anti-war
yeah, he was
protester.
anti-war.
Yeah.
He was like hugging trees and shit, and then he got drafted to the Steelers, and that happened to him. No, but I do think I respect George Pickens' game, like because like you know what, like do your thing, like fuck him up, like get mad at those DBs, like feel like he's got extra motivation. Like I don't know, I like George Pickens is one of those guys where I would hate him when he's on the other team, but I would love him if he was on the Bears. If he was on the
Yeah.
Bears, I'd be
Yeah.
like, fuck that DB you just fought. Like it was his fault. Like let him know like you're tough. Like
Yeah.
I would love him if he was on the Bears.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy dudes who are on the Bears, Tyreek Stevenson, he's had a bit of a skid recently. He's not been playing too well since the Washington game, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. I liked the kid,
confidence is
and
a huge thing for a DB. I mean, I would say
what's up?
like confidence is just a huge thing for a defensive back.
Oh
It's like
yeah,
you have to go like into every play, like lining up against the best athlete in the world,
no.
like NFL wide receivers, and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cover this guy, even though all the rules like make it so he can get open. Like
Hey,
you have to
listen,
have
listen.
unbelievable confidence.
I do not mind the confidence at all. He can
Right,
do
but it's
whatever he
not
wants,
broken.
but he's not been doing too well. He's
Right,
not
I feel
been.
like his confidence got like broken and
Yeah,
shattered and like stuff.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Something's got to change with him, and I hope they can kind of fix that because he shouldn't have to be known as the guy who taunted
No, that
I saw him getting hyped at one of I don't know, like the Packers game or something, and like people were shitting on him because he did that against Washington, but like
get
dude,
hyped,
he
dude.
get hyped as much as you want.
Yeah.
Don't
It's like
stop doing that. We're not telling you to do that. Some people are, but I'm not.
yeah, it's
Just
like I mean, it was like I said in the podcast after the Washington game. I was if you're gonna have that big of a low light, you got to have just like better highlights than
Yeah.
the low lights. And it's like you don't want to be the player like if he becomes a really really good corner, like he makes Pro Bowls and shit, then everyone will be like, oh ha ha ha. Remember. But like if
Yeah.
he sucks, like he will only ever be known. Like you
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
only ever be known for that one moment.
Right.
Like, if you're like, oh,
And
you're
he
this
has
great player
potential.
who had this one really bad moment, like
Yeah.
then like okay that sucks, but it's like I don't know. It's like great players have really bad moments.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why he was able to make that horrible play in the first place was because he was so athletic. He jumped higher than
Right.
anybody else.
Yeah.
He fucking muscled his way in there even when he wasn't supposed to. He jumped super high, he tipped it, and he landed in.
Yeah.
What I mean, it's because he was so athletic that he was able to do that. And he has so much potential. I don't want to see him like lose his confidence. So
Yeah.
Tyreek
he's,
Stevenson,
and
I know you're a
honestly,
big
like,
fan. Keep working hard, man. Don't lose that confidence.
yeah, like honestly, like he's like the player that I want to do better than like out of any of our players except for Caleb Williams. Like I want him to like be great. Like I want him to like be so good because like wouldn't that be so funny? Like if Jordan Love threw 2 picks to the guy who like did the Washington Hail Mary,
Yeah.
like, that'd be so funny.
Love to see Tyreek
Yeah, I was
Stevenson
thinking also,
Lambeau
like,
leap.
actually, like same player, like like
Yeah.
come on.
No.
Like I would just like love a good redemption story. Like I'm still hoping for it. I still think it'll happen.
Mhm.
Thing doesn't get solved in 3 weeks. I think it takes longer.
Yeah.
And I hope he's on the team next year. Like, just a
Okay.
good player.
I think he's still on the team. I don't think that he's going anywhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, and also we're coming to a close. I gotta talk about Roman Dunze. He's tearing it up. He's looking
Oh, yeah.
amazing. I'm so glad we drafted him. People were like, "Oh, he's a bust because he's not getting me 50 fantasy points." Bro, he's a rookie. He's wide receiver 3.
That's so true.
Like, come on. Like, and he's been doing so good. Like, I love him. I love him. I think he's doing awesome.
Great player.
And you know, I'm seeing like the videos of like him doing like outside football stuff, dude. He's becoming one of my favorite players. Like he's so awesome. I love him.
Yeah. Like I hope that like in like I don't know however many years it's like oh like Caleb Williams and Roman Dunze is like one of the top like you know how they have those graphics where it's like you know
Devontae
Brady to
Adams and
Gronk.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right. Like I hope it's like can
That
you
would be
imagine
sick.
if it's like Oh, Caleb Williams just passed Aaron Rodgers. Caleb Williams and Roman Dunze passed Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams for touchdowns.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, so like,
that would be sick.
see that graphic of them ahead, that would be crazy. Like, give us that, please.
That would feed countries with how
That's what
awesome
I'm
that would
saying.
be. Yeah. All right, Sam. We're both a little bit tired. I know you got work early tomorrow. I'm sorry for all you fans for missing out on last week and for dropping this one so late. But listen, things are up. Things are going up. Things are trending up. Things were going down, 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 down since the Commanders game. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and
Absolutely.
with Thomas Brown and a lot of the injuries kind of resolving themselves. I saw DeAndre Swift was on the injury report this week, which is scary and would really suck if he's not in. But he participated in full in the practice today, so hopefully he's going to be it. And honestly, the injury report list is pretty light this week, which is nice because we got 2 games in 4 days, which is
Yeah,
awesome. I love that. I hate waiting for Bears football. Like,
that is true.
if I could, I would watch Bears football every day.
And it wouldn't be special.
Well, yeah, because everyone would have like 7 brain tumors. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, Sam. Thanks for doing this for me. We're gonna be here next week. I'm sorry about the off week, but the Bears cave is back. Mm. All right. Sam, you want to say anything?
Nah, dude. Bear down.
Bear down. Yeah, exactly. All right. See you guys later. Peace.